Welcome back to my online class. This is Tammy, and we're here to make our June card. In order to start, go up to File, New Project, select Cards and Tags, Greeting Cards, 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 portrait, and create your own. At this point, you want to name it and hit OK. I'm not going to do that because I already have it here. The other thing I wanted to show you is just in case you're in a project and you want to add a page like I'm going to do here so that I can show you how I put this together. Go up to the top toolbar and hit Insert, Add a Page. For this video I'm going to hit a blank page. It's going to put it at the end here. I'm going to go ahead and move it just by dragging it. And that way I have an extra page to show you how I built this card. So to start out, I'm going to fill the back with basic gray. I'm actually going to use textured cardstock. I just like it because it adds a little extra to the card. Now I have to find the basic gray. Here it is. And let's see, our next step is to add the postage stamp, which is a extra. So let's open that, and we're going to go down and find that postage stamp. There it is. Go ahead and add it once, and it's exactly the right size for this project, so just leave it sized exactly the way it came out. Now what we want to do is copy it twice, so Control C, Control V. We're not going to fill it with paper yet. We're going to do it after we get this whole thing all lined up. So just eyeball it a little bit, and then what you want to do is highlight all 3 of these punches while holding the Shift key. And you can make sure you did that because there's little gray squares around each one. Then we're going to come up here and hit Arrange, Align, bottom. First we want to make sure they're lined up on the bottom, and then Arrange, Align, space evenly horizontally. This makes sure that the space between them is the same for all of them. And then we're going to go ahead and group them, and at this point we can try to space them evenly side to side. Now once these are grouped, they're one object. So at this point we're going to again copy and paste. So Control C, Control V, and we're going to do this 2 more times. Another Control V and another Control V. And drag these down. And again, just try to arrange them pretty close to a similar spacing that you had horizontally. And once they're pretty close, hold your Shift key and click all 4. See, I don't think this last one was clicked. Okay, now once you have all 4 clicked, again, check and make sure you have the little gray squares around each one. Hit Arrange, Align. This time I'm going to align the left, and then I'm going to align everything vertically, space even vertically. Okay, and that makes sure that you got that this side is lined up and that all these spaces in between, again, are the same. Now they're all highlighted. I can group them at this point in order to kind of center them on my page, or I can just go ahead and drag them. So I'm going to use my keyboard, the little arrow keys, to really kind of get this exactly where I want it. And I think that looks right. At this point, I am going to unclick and actually, whoops, that was a mistake. I want to ungroup all of these at this point. So I'm just going to go through and ungroup each one because now what I want to do is fill them all with paper. And you can't fill them with paper. Oops, do you see that I sort of moved that when I clicked it? Go ahead and just hit edit undo if you accidentally did that like I did. Okay, so again, arrange, ungroup, click off. Now that you've got all of these aligned perfectly, go ahead and start filling them with paper. So in order to do that, you have to highlight each one individually, go over to the Design Center and hit Paper Fill, and then you want to select your Designer Series paper under the Designer Kits, and we're going to uncheck Afternoon Daydream. And the first one is filled with the blue paper. And I think I left that one just the way it was. I tried to, this is also the blue paper. Let's just go ahead and do that one all the same. What I did for some of the subsequent ones is I changed it a little bit to make it look like I was punching them out of paper and I was punching in different spots of the paper just to add a little interest. Okay, the other blue one is down here. So again, I filled it, but then I double clicked and changed the spot that it was being punched out of. Okay, now we want to go do the next color. So similar thing, but this time we're picking this one, number 3. And I left the first one the same. So now we're going to go down here and pick it again. And I'm going to go ahead and double click and move it around a little bit. And same thing here. Double click. And let's see, this time I think I did something like that. Okay, now we want to do the red. And that also goes here. Double click. I think for this one I even kind of reduced it a little bit. Just again to add a little bit of difference. And then we did this one. And let me just kind of move it a little. And finally, the gray. If you do all the same colors or the same paper in a row, it keeps selecting it, so it does save a little bit of time. Okay, and finally, we're just going to do this one more time. Double click and just put it down there like that. Okay, now once I'm done completely with this, I want to show you one other trick. Now I've only highlighted one of my punches right now, but let's say I want to put a drop shadow on all of them. What you can do is I selected drop shadow from the Design Center, and then what I'm going to do is say apply to all punches on this page. You get a little warning because if you do this, you can't undo it. But I'm going to say okay. And then boom, I've got my drop shadow on every single one. At this point, I really don't want these punches to move, so I am going to highlight them all by drawing a square over them, and I'm going to say edit lock objects. That puts all these punches, locks them all down so that I cannot move them no matter what I do. So this is a really good